The stream is up and running. There it is there. It's loading onto the channel now. There it is. So the stream's up, the chat's up, the audio is working adequately as well. So, hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the PlayStation Americas Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we're racing at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. Since its opening in 1978, Montreal has produced some of the most incredible races in Formula One history. As a result, the circuit is rated very highly amongst Formula One fans. In the virtual world, however, the comments about this racetrack aren't as positive. The racing here can be incredibly good, as proven in Pacific Tier 1 last night. The 2.77 mile 14 turn circuit has 3 DRS zones that lead into turns 1, 8 and into the infamous Wall of Champions chicane of turns 13 and 14. So you can try and make moves around the circuit. The problem lies with how incredibly easy it is to gather track limits warnings. Qualifying is a pain to do around here, and time penalties during the race are easy to accumulate and become incredibly infuriating. Not just for the driver, but for us watching as well, as any battle on track will likely be won not by who crosses the finish line first, but who has the least time penalties at the end of the race. And that's never fun. The concrete walls line the edge of the majority of the circuit, so if you make a mistake, there's very little runoff area to help you. Finally, there's the pit entry, and the difference in entry speed between entering the pits and entering the Wall of Champions chicane. Hopefully we don't see any carnage there, because if we do, it's definitely going to be messy. I can say, though, with a lot of positivity, there hasn't been any incident at the pit lane so far. But we'll wait and see here with the American Series. Now, before we focus on this qualifying session, there is a little bit of news to go through first. I can report that there wasn't any stewards' inquiries from last week at China, so the results stand. One bit of news about full-time drivers in the championship. There is a new / old driver joining the full-time roster. That is LFR Psycho in the AlphaTauri. He's returning from Season 5 and he's now got a permanent seat in the Italian team. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, Mighty Wombat is leading on 46 points, followed by KD 1997 on 41, so only 5 points separating the top two. Renner Jr. is third on 40 points, just 1 point behind KD, 6 behind Mighty Wombat. Then it's a bit of a jump to Lake Show on 31 points. He's 9 points behind Renner. It's only early doors in the Drivers' Championship. Still a lot of events to unfold over the course of the season. But that's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now focus on this qualifying session. Hopefully it's going to be a good one here at Montreal. It's not a particularly long racetrack, as JBH sets the fastest time at 10.3. See how the drivers respond to that. KD, the man who's currently second in the championship, race winner from Shanghai. He's currently on the medium compound tyre, and according to the mini-map, he was purple to the first sector. Captain Schmeg now jumps up to the top with a 1 minute 10.112, beating JBH by 0.2 of a second. Rafixo is making his way out of turn 10, around turn 11, then up towards the most insignificant corner in Formula One. This one, turn 12, that's actually a corner. I've said it on the past 2 streams, it's quite incredible. That's an official corner on the official track map. Kinda dumb. Rafixo rather cautious through the Wall of Champions chicane, crosses the line to do a 12.4. KD coming towards the end of a flying lap. He was quite cautious as well through the chicane, and in fact he's not going to set a massively competitive time. A 1 minute 13.1. Must have made a mistake, and he makes one at turn 1 just there, invalidating his lap. That's incredibly easy to do here in Canada. Rafa, I think, just jumped up to P3. Noah jumps up to pole position on the medium compound tyre with a 10 flat, beating Captain Schmeg's time by a little under 1/10 of a second. Silent Banshee here is also on the medium compound tyre, making his way out of turn 10. Yellow flags in the middle sector. That's a slow Haas. That must be Refixer. He's still out on track, trying to get out of the way of drivers who are on a flying lap. Through the famous chicane, named after the 1999 Canadian Grand Prix, where 3 world champions, Michael Schumacher, Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve, all crashed into the outside wall. Since that point, the chicane has always been known as the Wall of Champions. Rather fitting, I do think so myself. Shizant begins a flying lap. Psycho's getting ready, though he has a car behind him. That's Lake Show, who is also on an out lap. Charlotto getting ready, same with Lob. Guitar Hero in the middle of a flying lap. He's on the medium compound tyre. He's making his way around this critical hairpin. I say that because you need to nail the exit, so then you can maximise straight line speed down the casino straight here towards the final chicane. Entering in at 324 kilometers an hour, brings it down to 4th gear. It's a fairly nice run through the chicane. Got DRS open. Crosses the line to set an 11.1, goes 8th quickest. Tell you what, we'll ride on board here with Dale Lotto, give you a proper tour of the racetrack. Around turn 1 and into the hairpin of turn 2. Exiting in 3rd gear. Up through the gears towards the chicane of 3 and 4, where Vettel and Hamilton had a famous exchange in 2019. Around turn 5 into the chicane of 6 and 7, where famously Jenson Button overtook Sebastian Vettel on the last lap of that well-known 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. Down this back straightaway of sorts into the chicane of 8 and 9. It's very easy to cop warnings through here. Fortunately for Dale Lotto, he doesn't, even though he cut quite a bit of turn 9. Around the hairpin, there's a bit of traffic in front. There's Lob using a bit of the runoff area. He gets out of the way at the exit. Around the kink of turn 11, up towards the even smaller kink of turn 12. Then down towards the Wall of Champions chicane. Oh, Guitar Hero gets right in the way of his teammate. Guitar Hero paying absolutely no attention whatsoever. See there, Dale Lotto is less than impressed with his teammate. Gets out of the way of Psycho and Lake Show, who jumps up to pole position with a 1 minute 9.7. No, that might be Stewart's report on that. That was nasty. Oscar Toll has invalidated his lap. Psycho on a flying lap, it seems. He's yet to set a lap time. He must have invalidated his first flying lap. KD, purple to the first sector. And he's on the soft compound tyre. He's going to try and go for pole position. So hello Conic, welcome to the chat. Throwing your support towards Mighty, Noah and JBH. Well, they're all doing pretty well, as you mentioned, they're all in the top 5. KD making his way out of turn 10 around the kink of 11. Yellow flags in the first sector, that's a Ferrari going slowly. Either JBH or Silent Banshee, not quite sure. Down towards the Wall of Champions chicane. Chucks it in 5th gear. Doesn't use all of the curb on the exit, but uses just enough. Crosses the line and jumps up to pole position with a 1 minute 9.583. It's currently a Mercedes-Benz 1-2. JBH is 8 seconds down in the first sector, so he's not properly on a flying lap. Rafa, on the other hand, is up by 2/10 in the middle sector. Got the Wall of Champions to deal with now. Chucks it in. Does a nice job. Opens DRS. Down the main straight, crosses the line. Jumps up to P7, improving by 2.5 tenths to set a 1 minute 10.194. Captain Schmeg has invalidated his lap as well. He's currently in P5. Silent Banshee beginning a flying lap, exiting turn 4, around turn 5. First sector says he's up by just over a tenth and a half in the first sector. If he wants pole position, he needs to improve by a whole second. Quite a mountain to climb. Oscar Toll has just jumped up to 9th place with a 10.3. Oh, overshooting turn 8, cutting a lot of 9, but fortunately no invalidation there from Silent Banshee. Sector 1 yellows, that's a slow AlphaTauri, I think, bringing those out. Around the hairpin of turn 10. Doesn't use the full width of the circuit there at turn 10, but he got the car rotated pretty quickly around the hairpin. See what his run is like here in the final sector. Got the Wall of Champions chicane to deal with. Oh, bit of a scrape there on the exit, but it was a fairly clean run as Rafa jumped up to P3. Silent Banshee stays in P10, even though he improved by 0.2 of a second. Flavius going into the pit. Snake and Beans potentially on a flying lap here. Eistedt isn't on a flying lap. The Benzes are in the pit lane waiting for their moment to come back out again. Captain Schmeg has invalidated his lap and he was up by 0.2 in the middle sector. So he'll be kicking himself a little bit about that. Renner Jr. has just jumped up to P2 with a 1 minute 9.650. He's just 7 hundredths behind KD. Still holds that pole position spot. That was on the medium compound tyre, I noticed as well. Rafa, you'll be going back into the pits. You've just run out of fuel, it seems. Coming towards the pointy end, the business end of qualifying. Drivers will be getting ready to set their final couple of flying laps. Fortunately, one of the great things about Canada, the out lap and the in lap isn't particularly long. Like I said, the track's only 2.7 miles. Lap time around here, about 70 seconds or so, and Noah, well, he's just done the cardinal sin here at Montreal, invalidating through the Wall of Champions chicane. That means this lap is invalidated as well, so he has to do a whole other tour of the circuit and have another go. KD, he's looking to extend his margin to P2 in this flying lap, exiting turn 4. Around turn 5, up towards the first sector split, he's up by a tenth of a second. Through turn 6, then turn 7, exit rather nicely. Doesn't use the full width of the circuit, but he got nice drive out to turn 7. Into the chicane of 8 and 9, 5th gear, really chucking it in at turn 8. And as a result, his lap is now invalid. He might have another go in a few moments' time. JBH, I think it's just begun a flying lap. We'll see what the first sector says for the Ferrari driver. Around turn 5, clock says he's up by a tenth and a half. And there's his lap gone, just cutting way too much at turn 6. Way too much. Noah coming through turns 1 and 2, and he's still on the medium compound tyre. He set his best lap on the mediums, looking to try and improve through 3 and 4. Oh, he was up against the wall there at the exit of turn 4. The clock says he's up by 0.2 of a second in the first sector. Around turn 7, gets nice drive, uses the full width of the circuit. Down the back straightaway towards 8 and 9. We saw KD invalidate here. Noah, there's no such thing, keeps it well within the white line. It's a nice tidy run through the chicane. Up towards the hairpin of turn 10, he's up by half a second in the middle sector. My goodness, he's found a lot of time on this lap. Now he needs to nail this final sector. He could challenge for pole position with this sort of time. We'll see what the clock says at the end of the lap. But first he has to get through the Wall of Champions. On the brakes, down to 5th gear. Cuts all that he dares. A bit sideways on the exit, but he keeps it straight. up towards the line. Noah jumps up to pole with a 1 minute 9.470, and he's done that on the medium compound tyre. KD is back into the pits. Renner Jr. is still in the pits. Lake Show is on a flying lap, and he has a Haas right in front of him. That's for Fixer, as Snake and Beans is retired in the pit lane, down in 16th. That'd be quite irritating, I'm sure, for Lake Show, being stuck behind the Haas there, who was on a flying lap. Rafa making his way through the first sector. Oh, and he hits the wall. No visible damage on the Red Bull, but he's down in the first sector. Around turn 6, then turn 7. We'll see what the car's like through the chicane of 8 and 9, see if there's any damage. It seems to be rotating okay, but he's invalidated his lap at turn 9. JBH getting ready, but he's stuck right behind Psycho here. What's going on? Psycho's getting ready to set a flying lap, and that ultimately ruins JBH's chance of setting a flying lap here. He's now stuck in the dirty F. Psycho, there's KD. As KD gets a 5 grid place penalty for illegal blocking. I love this game. He was trying to do the right thing there, trying to let drivers through who are on a flying lap, but his generosity has been punished. So even if he scores pole position, he won't be lining up on the front row. This game is great. Captain Schmeg getting ready. Silent Banshee getting ready to set a flying lap. He's invalidated this lap, but he's going to have another go. I wish that yellow flag indicator could go away. There we go, 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the session. In fact, that might be qualifying over for Banshee. He won't have enough time to get back out and do another lap, I think. Mighty Wombat getting ready. Oscar getting ready. Dal Lutto on a flying lap. He's making his way through the wall of champion. Actually, no, he's not. He's not on a flying lap. He's getting ready to set a flying lap. And he does have that red fuel icon, so he is quite low on fuel. Hopefully he will be able to set a proper flying lap here, exiting turn 2. Currently P11 with a 1 minute 10.6. He needs to improve by 3/10 in order to jump inside the top 10. See what the first sector says for Dal Lotto here. He's up by 19,000. Oscar's exiting turn 2. He's making his way through the opening sector as well. He's currently in P10 just in front of Dal Lotto. Around turn 5, up towards the first sector split, the clock says he's down by 17 thousandths of a second. Captain Schmeg, this lap is invalid as well, and I think it's qualifying over for Captain Schmeg. He's got no time in hand to try and set another lap unless he cuts turns 8 and 9, which I do believe is illegal in Race Spec. He's doing his damnedest to try and get to the finish line, but I don't think he'll have time in hand. I think it's a similar story with Lake Show as well. I think his qualifying's over. The clock running down. Renner Jr. is up by... Oh, sorry. That wasn't the first sector split. He's making his way through the first sector now. The clock says he's up by a 10th and a half exactly. As KD jumps up to pole position, not that it matters too much. With a 1 minute 9 flat. Renner Jr. making his way through turns 8 and 9. If he can overtake Noah, he'll be able to start on pole position here in Montreal. The middle sector says he's up by 2/10. That's enough, but he needs to get this final sector right. Exiting the hairpin through turn 11, then into the brief kink of turn 12 and down the Casino Straight. Only the Wall of Champions chicane remains for Renner Jr. He'll chuck it in as hard as he dares without invalidating. Pretty tidy run, nothing too aggressive, just nice and tidy. Up towards the line and stays in P3. Well, Renner had the opportunity to start on pole, but unfortunately a bit too cautious through the final Wall of Champions chicane. Oscar, his session's done. He's waiting on Psycho now. He's going back into the pits. So that's it, qualifying over. KD sets the fastest time, but with a 5 grid place penalty, it will be Noah who starts on pole position on the medium compound tyre. We'll have Renner Jr. alongside in P2. Lake Show in P3, then Mighty Wombat P4, Oscar in P5, then KD in P6. It's good to see that bot is still here. It just doesn't disappear. Best we can do is just delete the damn messages. We'll look at the rest of the order in a few moments' time. I'll just be waiting on Oscar to go back into his pit box, and we can look at the final results screen from qualifying. There we go. KD setting the fastest time, but he won't be starting on pole. I'll go to Noah. Set a time on the mediums. That's quite an effort from the Aston Martin driver. Renner will start alongside on the front row. Then Lake Show in P3. Mighty Wombat P4. Then Oscar P5. Then KD P6. Rafa 7th. JBH in 8th. Guitar Hero in 9th. And Captain Schmeg rounds out the top 10. Every single driver, bar Noah, will start on the soft compound tyre for the start of the race. Silent Banshee P11th, then Darlotto in 12th. He'd be a bit annoyed with himself, especially after getting held up by his teammate Guitar Hero. Liquito 13th, Psycho 14th, Shizant in 15th, Flavius in 16th, Snake and Beans in 17th, then Lob in 18th, Rafixa 19th, and Ice Stev will start from the back of the grid in 20th place. It'll be interesting to see who starts on what tyre outside the top 10. He was rolling Buster, but it doesn't matter. The game will give him a 5 grid place penalty. It wasn't for blocking the pit lane, it was for blocking cars on a flying lap, according to the game. That's what it means. So not getting out of the way of cars on a flying lap, even though he was. That's why he got the grid place penalty. So. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Bags. It's becoming too normal for us to deal with the broken system, with a broken game. It gives us high hopes for 2022. But yeah, he didn't get a penalty for blocking the pit lane. He got a penalty for blocking cars on the flying lap. If he was blocking the pit lane, it would have come up as stated blocking the pit lane. But it's illegal blocking for drivers on the flying lap, which is ridiculous, but anyway, it is what it is. Right, let's see who's on what tyre. Oh, a bit more one-sided than I initially anticipated. So, we got Noah here on pole, starting on the medium tyre. Everyone else inside the top 10, starting on soft compound tyres. Worn soft compound tyres from qualifying. The first driver outside the top 10 is Silent Banshee. He's starting on fresh soft compound tyres. We'll have Darlotto alongside, starting on the mediums. Liquito in 13th, starting on the soft compound tyre. Then Psycho in 14th on the hards. Shizant in 15th place, starting on soft tyres. Then Flavius in 16th, starting on the mediums. Snake and Beans in 17th, starting on the mediums. He's the last driver to start on the medium compound tyre. Only 4 of them, which is rather interesting. Lob in P18 starting on the softs. Rafixa in 19th starting on the softs. And Ice Dev starting from the back, also on the soft tyre. So we got 4 on the mediums, 1 on the hards. That means 15 on the soft tyre. Alright, just waiting for the leaders to line back up into their respective grid slots. You can get this race underway. Slightly overcast conditions. We might see some wet weather interference. I don't think... Oh, here we go. So, chance of rain at the start. Okay. So there's chance of rain in the middle of the race, according to Flavius. About 15 minutes into the race, and then the rain should disappear towards the end. So we'll keep an eye on the weather, keep an eye on the laps, see when the rain comes. That's why so many people are starting on the soft tyre. Right now, everyone's lined up, ready to race. We have 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Montreal. Noah gets a great start. Oh, and off the circuit is Mighty Wombat. He cuts onto the grass and loses a ton of places. Side-by-side action coming through turns 1 and 2. Drivers trying to find a bit of track to race on as Oscar and KD are side-by-side. Now JBH wants a piece of the action. Into turn 3 they go. JBH, oh, and Oscar cuts the circuit there. Oscar hangs on to P5. No, JBH gets out in front into P5. So Oscar down into P6. Silent Banshee trying to have a look at Rapper here. They're side-by-side through turn 7. Rapper, oh, a bit sideways there on the exit. Silent Banshee gets through. Guitar Hero wants a piece of the action too. Into turn 8 we go. Can't get the move done there. The Alpine driver didn't have enough momentum. I think someone might have scraped the wall. I think it might have been Darlotto. I couldn't quite tell. As Flavius has fallen down to last place. Around the hairpin they go. Laquito a bit wide. Darlotto tries to get the drive but can't get it done. But what a shocking start for Mighty Wombat. Down in 17th place. A really awkward start. Ice Step is off the circuit there, out in 19th. Leaders making their way through the wall of champions. Oscar was awfully sideways at the final corner. A bit of drama on the opening lap. Nothing too major as Mighty Wombat goes into the pits. Captain Schmeg making a move on Oscar Toll. He moves into 6th place. Darlotto and Laquito are battling for 11th and 12th. Darlotto, I think it's the edge. Moves himself into 11th place. Through 3 and 4. Up and around turn 5, you can see the back end swirling around on the Aston Martin of Oscar Toll. He's desperately trying to put the power down, but the back end just keeps breaking away from him. KD on the back of JBH. Don't think he's close enough to go for a move just yet, though he is awfully close. Renner already a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. It's only lap 2 rather. That's incredible. But not really that surprising. It is really easy to gather warnings around here. Yeah, KD, he won't be close enough just yet. Silent Banshee's got a bit of a run here on Oscar. He's looking to the inside. Into the wall of champions we go. They're side by side. It could turn nasty. Oh, hitting each other there at the exit as Silent Banshee brushes the wall. Fortunately, from what I can see, neither car has damage. There is a visual glitch where you can't see minor damage as a spectator. It's a neat little thing. Just reminding you it's a Codemaster game. KD has already got a penalty. Silent Banshee has now got a penalty too. So 3 drivers have now got 3-second time penalties on the 3rd lap. What an amazing coincidence. A bit further back, Guitar Hero and Laquito side by side around turn 7 as Laquito goes swooping round the outside to take 11th place. Now the DRS enabled and will spice things up a little bit as Oscar gets a penalty. Captain Schmeg has crashed colossally. He has lost it. He's out of the race and we have a virtual safety car. How's that not a proper safety car? You're kidding. He's right on the racing line. Oh my goodness. Drive-through penalty for Ice Dev for speeding on the VSC. You always got to pay attention to the Delta. Can't look away from it. Cannot look away from it for a split second. As Guitar Hero goes into pit lane. What's he up to? Front wing change maybe? Looks like a front wing at the ready. Lob's coming in as well. Yeah, front wing, medium tyres being bolted on. Lob, very much the same. So they're taking advantage of this VSC. Laquito's now got a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, taking advantage of the VSC, getting some repairs done. Get some new tyres bolted on. It's Noah who still leads. Lake Show in 2nd, then Renner Jr. in 3rd. JBH in 4th, KD in 5th. It's a bit of a gap between him and Silent Banshee in P6. Ooh, as Lake Show almost goes into the back of Noah and loses it at the hairpin. Oh dear, oh dear. outbroke himself, and he got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. What? Oh, and he'll have to serve that as well. He hasn't made a pit stop yet. And there's rain on the way. Oh. Yeah, just put on the power a bit too much and away she went. Noah now has no pressure from behind. He can get his head down and start to push. Try and pull away from the chasing pack. Coming through turns 3 and 4. There's Renner Jr. in second as Kappa left the session. JBH in third. KD trying to go for third as Oscar Toll is out of the race. Look at that. Debris is strewn across the racetrack. Same with the Aston. And amazingly, no safety car. We got a VSC. A second VSC. In the span of 5 laps, and Istev has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding. And I'm not sure if he'll be able to serve a drive-through. No, he got service, so... Yikes. Out he comes. 19th. With 2 VSCs. Essentially back-to-back. Halting the racing just a little bit. You can see this group here, group of 4 cars led by Renner Jr. Then look, 5.9 seconds to Rafa in P6. It's an awfully big margin. So you've got a lead group forming. You've got this midfield battle here. And it's starting to rain, I think. Yep. See there, everyone. Raindrops on the halo. So it's starting to rain. DRS is now enabled. We're back on the green flag racing. And here comes Dal Lotto. Oh, couldn't get the move done. I thought Dal Lotto caught Rafa napping. Instead, he's made a mistake himself. And here comes Lakeshow. He's got to run around turn 5. Into the chicane of 6 and 7. He's not close enough to go for a move. Around turn 7, they go onto the back straight. It's Rafa from Dal Lotto. Lakeshow, then Laquito in 9th place. Chasing the 3 in front. Silent Banshee has lost a little bit of time to the 3 in front. He's now 1.6 seconds behind KD. KD working away at JBH, exiting turn 11. Coming up to turn 12. These two will have DRS here down the straightaway. They're not close enough to make a move just yet, though. Through the wall of champions chicane. Onto the main straight. I reckon JBH is close here. Ooh, a Silent Banshee runs wide. Here comes JBH. Down the inside of turn 1. Lakeshow, a 3-second time penalty. The Ferrari moves to second. And KD goes for an almighty send at turn 2. There was just enough space down the inside to fit a Mercedes-Benz. He made it work. Quite opportunistic. He caught Rena by surprise. He caught me by surprise. That's for sure. Around turn 7. KD will now have DRS. Close in on the Ferrari. Through the chicane they go. Oh, KD's lost it! Oh, that aggressiveness has resulted in nothing. He's spun out. He's dropped to 5th. He's overtaken by Dal Lotto, by Rafa. Here comes his teammate Lakeshow to take P7 away from KD. And he's still got overtake stuck on. As Lob retires, he's crashed at turn 6. And we have a proper safety car. Here's Lob on the racing line. 3 retirements. JBH is disqualified for blocking the pit lane. What? What? He's still moving. JBH has been disqualified for quote-unquote blocking. And where's Silent Banshee? There he is. He's now getting serviced. He had to have been held for a while. You're kidding. He was moving. He must have, as Mighty Wombat gets a 5-second penalty, he must have pulled up pretty quickly entering the pits. He must have been travelling at like maybe 10, 20 kilometers an hour, and as a result, he's been disqualified. I do not believe it. Yeah, quite right, Chronic. Racing director, no, this is not right. Benotto will be screaming into his mic, demanding an explanation from the virtual Michael Massey. What kind of decision is that? Disqualify. Oh, and someone's made a mistake. Is that Icedev? It is. He's a lap down. Oh, and Silent Banshee got an illegal overtake prompt, so he has to give up the position. Oh, my goodness. Right, how many people have pitted onto the inters, by the way? A few people have pitted onto intermediates. Raven's getting a front wing change. So he must have made some sort of error, maybe hit the back of somebody. He has to come back in and get that front wing fixed. Banshee is into the pits as well, getting a second service. He's moving on to the intermediate tyre. Gets those bolted on and away he leaves. There's Icedev getting serviced as well. Drama, just drama. All over the place here. And some ridiculous decisions by the game in terms of penalties being handed out. That is, quite frankly, unbelievable. My goodness. So we've had 3 retirements, 2 of them resulting in VSCs, 1 of them resulting in the safety car we're seeing right now. JBH has been disqualified for allegedly blocking the pit lane, even though he was quite clearly moving. And we saw what happened to KD. He got a 5 grid place penalty for illegally blocking people on flying laps. And he's trying to get out of their way. And now we got the leaders coming in to go onto the intermediate tyre. So Noah and Shizant are going to lose a whole heap of positions. Renner is now in the lead. And Darlotto, out of nowhere, is in 2nd place. Rafa's in 3rd after 2 pit stops in a row. He's in 3rd. Lakeshow's in 4th. Rafixer is in 5th place. Snake and Beans in P6. KD's down to 7th. Laquito just behind in 8th. Noah comes out in 9th. And Flavius almost rounds out the top 10. Instead it'll be Shizant in 10th place. The field has well and truly been scrambled. This game is well and truly scrambled. All this weird stuff going on, it's so difficult to keep track of. Okay. I'd love to know. This is amazing. I've never experienced something like this. Yeah, so you were just trying to change tyres to inters, got disqualified, but that's ridiculous. Messing around with the MFD, trying to get everything sorted, and the game just disqualifies you. Oh my goodness. I'm guessing the safety car is going in. Is it? Yeah, it's going back into its natural habitat. Right now, so Renner controls the field, and he starts to go. That's probably a wise thing to do in these conditions, is to start early. Get the field nice and spread out, that way we don't get any drama, or at least there's a lower chance of getting drama. Leaders begin lap 11 of 35 here at Montreal. KD on the back of Snake and Beans. Doesn't go for a move at turn 1. Through the opening couple of corners, Rafa's got the run on Darlotto here. But Darlotto manages to find enough traction on the exit to hang on to P2. KD and Snake and Beans fairly close together through 3 and 4. Guitar Hero has overtaken Flavius into P11. Into turns 6 and 7. KD using up his overtake. He should get by relatively easily. Mighty Wombat getting a 3-second time penalty. Around turn 8, then turn 9. Making Beans not getting the great run out of the chicane. Noah's close. Will he go for a move here? In towards the hairpin. Noah breaks deep, but so does Snake and Beans. He hangs on to P7 for now. Oh, it doesn't get great traction though out of the hairpin. Drivers have to adapt quickly to these conditions. It won't be easy. And here comes Noah. Got yellow flags out. It's Guitar Hero and Shizen. They're both off the racetrack. Shizen will rejoin, but he's now down in 14th place. And there goes Psycho to take that position away. Noah's now into 7th. Oh, hello. They're quite slow exiting the chicane. And here comes Laquito. It's 3 wide. Entering turn 1, and Laquito is now in 7th. So obviously, Snake and Beans and Noah have come together through the wall of Champion Chicane. Speaking of which, Guitar Hero has spun. He's now got a missing front wing. There's debris on the racing line. We might see a virtual. Or maybe. I guess we'll find out. Oh, and spinning his ice dev into the wall. Oh my goodness me. KD has gone straight on. Trying to overtake Rafixer. And he reads. And oh my goodness, thank goodness the ghosting system is turned on. And Noah is into 5th place. They might be called up to the steward for an unsafe re-entry. I suppose we'll find out. And we got a damaged front wing on KD's car. That definitely won't help out his scenario. So he'll have to pit in. Same with Rafixer, who has got damage. Gets overtaken by Silent Banshee, who moves himself into 9th. KD, he'll be going into the pits straight away. Wouldn't want to spend too much time the broken wing. Leaders are making their way through the final chicane. So KD will go in. There he goes. Laquito will take that P6. Megan Beans will move up as well. Field is pretty erratic at the moment. Got stuff happening at the front. We've got stuff happening in the middle. Got stuff happening at the back. It'll be very tough to capture all of it. Late show, round turn 5, into the chicane of 6 and 7. He's not quite close enough to make a move on Rafa. Rafa driving well in P3. He has lost a little bit of ground to the 2 in front. He's still 1.3 seconds behind. Mighty Wombat's on the back of Flavius, heading towards 6 and 7. Doesn't go for a move though, probably a wise thing. He isn't quite close enough. Exiting turn 7, down the back straight away. Mighty Wombat loses a little bit. Sorry, Flavius loses a little bit of ground. He's unable to keep his fight going. Late show. Rafa, Darlotto, and Renner Jr. 4 drivers have well and truly pulled away, but there's Noah looming in the background, closing in little by little, corner by corner. Around turn 2, on the leaders. It's very, very difficult to pass here in intermediate conditions. You're basically relying on drivers around you to make mistakes and for you to capitalize on them, just like what Rafa did at the exit of turn 2. You can see here Lake Show, although he's close, he's not quite close enough as Rafa goes a bit too wide at turn 6. Lake Show tries to put the power down at the exit of 7. And Rafa just gets enough traction down to hang on to P3, although Lake Show's looking down the inside here at turn 8. Rafa gives him enough room. Nice respectful racing going on there between these two. Down towards the hairpin of turn 10. Will Lake Show send it? I reckon he thought about it. Rafa a tad bit sideways at the exit there of the hairpin as Noah grows bigger. Every moment that passes by, he just looms that little bit closer. Through the chicane. See how gentle the drivers have to be here on the accelerator, on the brakes, on the steering. They have to be very gentle. They can't be too aggressive. Lakeshore, he's got momentum. He's looking down the inside of 1, but Rafa has the inside line at 2. Needs to keep it narrow, but Rafa... I can't speak. Rafa runs wide. Fortunately for him, he still gets enough traction on the wide line to hang on to P3. Around turn 5. Oh, Lakeshore's still not close enough. And there's Noah. He's now well and truly behind Lakeshore. Oh, as Lakeshore loses it into the wall. Oh dear. You can see his overtake is on. I reckon he turned on overtake a bit too early. Lost the back of the car. He's going to lose 3 positions and a few more when he makes his pit stop to fix that front wing. Mercedes-Benz is not having a good day when it comes to traction. Both drivers have lost it at several points over the course of the race. We saw Lakeshore lose it at turn 10, the hairpin, earlier. He got a 5-second penalty for that. And obviously, we saw KD lose it at turn 9. Through the chicane. Noah is very close. He's got a great run. Using up a fair bit of battery. He closes in. Looks to the inside. Goes nice and deep on the brakes. Rafa tries to hold it. And to Noah's credit, he's given him room to hold that inside line. Very respectful stuff there from those two. And Noah moves into 3rd place. Sector 1, yellow flags. Who is that? That's a lap car, I think. It's a Alpha Tauri. It must be Eistev. Yeah, there he is there. You can see him just in front of Noah. There he is. They're going a bit slowly, bringing out yellow flags. Lakeshore into the pits. He's put on new intermediate tyres. Darlotto, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. He's still behind Renner Jr. They're still going at it. And we're entering that sort of phase where the drivers are starting to spread out. The lap car of Eistev getting out of the way. Nice job there. Yeah, very nice job getting out of the way. Snake and Beans. His wing mirrors are full of scarlet red at the moment as Silent Banshee is right behind. Heading down the casino straight towards the Wall of Champions. Lakeshore gets a 3-second time penalty. He's done that at turns 8 and 9, I think, looking at the minimap. Liquito, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings as Silent Banshee brushes the wall at the exit of turn 14. Through 1. Then into turn 2. Banshee just working away. A little bit sideways there from Snake and Beans. There's Laquito in 5th place. Through 3 and 4. Oh, and Snake and Beans went into the wall. And Silent Banshee goes into the wall as well. Trying to avoid the slow Williams in front. And as a result, he's got a completely destroyed front wing. Oh dear, oh dear. Silent Banshee, he'll have to come in and get that fixed, but he's going to lose a whole heap of time. Careful with that bump. Ugh. There's an awkward bump on the inside of turn 9. In Pacific Tier 1, a driver by the name of Spilly was caught out by that bump and crashed out at the beginning of quali. He had to start from 19th place. Oh dear. Through the chicane. Snake and Beans. From the fact that he hasn't pitted, it suggests that his front wing is still okay, even after hitting the wall at turn 4. Now Banshee's going to lose a whole heap of positions. And now he's closing in on Laquito, so that sort of reaffirms the fact. Not quite sure if Banshee hit the back of Snake and Beans at the exit of 4. Guess we'll find out post-race. But we definitely saw the end of a Banshee hitting the barrier on the left-hand side of the track. completely destroying the wing. It's really unfortunate stuff, but it's what you typically see in wet weather conditions. Just briefly there, you saw the most useless camera angle that the game has to offer. That camera located on the nose of the car that looks directly back at the driver's helmet. Completely useless because it doesn't provide me with anything whatsoever. Can't see any racing from that angle. All you can see is the driver's helmet and the massive halo that sticks in front of it. Darlotto's still working away, only 1 second behind. So I think, because the margin used to be about 7/10, so I think these two are relatively even in terms of pace. So it's all going to be about who makes the least amount of mistakes out there. At the moment, they're both equal in terms of penalties. Yep, both have 3 seconds. So it's a genuine fight between these two for position. Noah's closing in P3. The gap is under 3 seconds as he gets a penalty, so does KD. So now Noah's on the same ground in terms of penalties as the two drivers in front of him. So it's going to be a proper fight on track. It stopped raining. Look, no rain droplets on the halo, no rain droplets on camera lens or anything, so stopped raining. So how many more laps did the drivers do on these intermediate tyres? I imagine maybe 1-2 laps and then they'll bolt on probably soft tyres. Cars won't have a great deal of fuel in them, so you can probably make the tyres do 14-15 laps with relative ease. Equator, 15 seconds worth of pens. Ouch. A lot of penalties. Blue flags being displayed. That's Eistedt. Gets out of the way. Psycho now has KD for company exiting turn 2. Heading up towards the chicane of 3 and 4. Through that chicane, KD will go for a big send here. I doubt it. Gonna come around turn 6. Around turn 7. Doesn't get a great run out of 7. Gonna use up a lot of battery. Into the chicane of 8 and 9. If he can get the run out of 9, he'll have a go at the hairpin, but he doesn't. Psycho's driving quite well on corner exit anyway. KD's just sort of stuck in P9 for now. He gets a very nice run out of the hairpin. He's right behind. And he uses up a bit of battery. Psycho's doing the same, and Psycho's got more battery in reserve compared to KD. The Wall of Champions chicane. There's Snake and Beans as Rafixa gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. KD, he is close. Lake Show and Flavius go into the pits as KD and Psycho make contact at the entry to turn 1 and the entry to turn 2. Oh dearie me. As KD gets a bit sideways at the exit of 2 into turn 3. They're still side by side. Psycho trying to not give up. At the end of the day, KD moves himself into 8th. Now, Silent Banshee has moved on to the medium compound tyre. He's coming out of the pit lane now. I thought he'd bolt on the softs, to be honest. He hasn't done that. Through 8 and 9. Up towards the hairpin of turn 10. Looking down the inside here. Nice and deep on the brakes. Snake and Beans leads room. So does KD. Yeah, probably JBH, but I'm not really sure what the shield will do about your DSQ. But it doesn't hurt to ask. As Darlotto gets another 3-second time penalty. few drivers going in. Yellow flags are about. I think that's Silent Banshee. Yeah. So he's taking a gamble putting on slick tyres, and it seems that the track isn't dry enough yet. He's had a moment. And here comes Rafa in fourth. Banshee doesn't really get out of the way, but that's alright. No harm, no foul. And, hello. Carlotto and Noah exchanging places there at the hairpin. They're heading down the casino straight now. Sector 2, yellow flags. That is Icedev, I believe. Going into the Wall of Champions. That's the top three. None of them have pit. And Renner Jr.'s got another penalty, so he has 6 seconds now. Noah still only has 3. Down into turn 1. Oh, Noah's close. Not close enough. There's an Alpine just in front. That must be Guitar Hero. Up towards 3 and 4. Through the chicane. Oh, Noah overshoots it. Loses time. Loses the back end as well to lose even more time. As Laquito goes into the pits, we have yellow flags out. I think that's Snake and Beans. Bringing out yellows. As KD moves by Laquito. Lakeshore will do the same. Laquito, you can see there on slick tyres, the soft compound tyre. In these sort of conditions, it's the tyre you want to be on. Darlotto looking down the inside of Renner Jr. Into the lead he goes. Renner left the door wide open there at turn 10, and Darlotto just let himself in with no resistance whatsoever. So the Alpine takes the lead. Into the chicane we go. The leaders stay out still. Sector 2 yellow flags are out. I think that's Icedev. It is. Into turns 1 and 2. Noah is very close. Needs to find a window of opportunity and go through it. And there's an interesting prompt. DRS is now enabled. And Rafa, he's just bolted on slick tyres. Mighty Wombat's going to do the same. And everyone else behind him, they're going to move on to slick tyres. These fellas will be pitting in at the end of the lap. Interesting to see what they box onto. KD's gone onto the soft tyre. Mighty Wombat on the mediums. Laquito making that earlier pit stop. Going to benefit him quite a bit here, actually. He's going to be in P. Oh, but he's overshot turn 1 and cuts turn 2 and gets a 5-second time penalty. Oh dear. But is it time for slicks? Ooh, that is the question. Because you can see there, Rafa, he's not exactly gaining time. Here comes Noah. He's close. Not close enough as all 3 of them go in. Alright, what did they do? Soft tyres at the ready for Noah. They get bolted on. Darlotto's on softs. Renner is onto the medium compound tyre. Don't know about that. I think the soft tyre is probably the way to go in these conditions. There's a Ferrari. That must be Silent Banshee, who is a lap down. Alright. So the fight is on between the top 3. Darlotto finds himself in the lead. Renner Jr. in second. 2.2 seconds behind. And he's on the mediums. I honestly think that isn't the right call. You can see he's lost 3/10 in this opening sector alone. Darlotto has bolted. I think even worn qualifying tyres will do better than fresh mediums. Especially in these conditions. Now they're closing in. Doesn't need to do too much though. He'll get DRS down there straight away. Gets the drive out of the hairpin as well, as the medium tyres just can't find the traction. Psycho's got a 3-second time penalty. Down the casino straight. And it's going to be a simple move for Noah. He's into P2. Through the chicane. Both drivers get through unscathed. The gap between Noah and the leader, 2.5 seconds. And Noah still only has 3 seconds worth of penalties, whereas Darlotto has 6. It's going to be a game of penalties, I reckon, throughout the rest of the race. Whoever has the least amount of penalties will likely come out on top. The man in 4th place, Rafa, still doesn't have any penalties. He's doing a great job, and he's got a fairly big margin between himself and Mighty Wombat. So he's got no pressure from behind, no pressure to push. He just needs to do his own thing out there. Down towards the hairpin, turn 10. Noah's still about 2.2 seconds behind. No, Darlotto be enjoying himself out in front, enjoying the soft tyre as well and the grip they provide. After qualifying down in 12th, he finds himself in the lead, and when he crosses the line, it'll be 9 laps to go. Still got a fair way until the checkered flag. Oh, and he cuts a lot of turn 1. That is bound to be a warning. He can't afford to get any more penalties. Sector 1 yellow flag. Silent Banshee is out. Safety car. Safety car has been deployed. Well, he's gone straight on. Has he? Let's see here. Liquito. You'll be coming up to the scene shortly. Banshee has left the session, but how on earth has he done this? Coming up to it now. He's just disappeared, but oh, it's Darlotto gets another penalty. Oh dear. But he smashed into the wall on the outside of turn 2. And he didn't just come out of the pits either, because he crashed on old tyres, 6-lap old mediums. Did he lose the back end at turn 2, maybe? Some drivers are taking the opportunity to pit onto soft tyres. Quite an intelligent thing to do. Snake and Beans getting front wing change as well. Lake shows on fresh soft tyres. They come out in 10th place as Darlotto goes in. Why has he come in? Putting on fresh soft tyres. Rafa's done the same, but he's got a huge margin in hand. He's got every right to do this. And now Rafa is in a fantastic position. He's in 4th place on fresh tyres with no penalties. And we're going to be spending a few laps on the safety car as well. So we're going to count down a fair few laps before we get back on the green flag running. What an interesting scenario we have playing out. KD moves himself into 5th place. Liquito getting a 5-second penalty served as Noah has left the section. Oh my goodness, well he better rejoin as soon as possible. Has he caught the safety? Well, the AI has caught the safety car, thank goodness. And it's not like he's going to lose any time or positions by doing this. But hopefully he'll be able to rejoin ASAP. Otherwise he's going to be in trouble. Rightio. So basically everybody except for Renner Jr., Psycho, and Liquito, they're all on medium compound tyres. Same with Ice Dev down in 15th. The fact that he's 1 lap down to 14th place as Renner pits. He's got a bit of a margin. I think KD will... Oh, it's going to be close. There goes KD. There goes the pit limiter. And into 4th place. There's KD. Oh, no. He actually gives it to Renner. Maybe it was the Delta? And he had to slow down because of the Delta? I don't know. Maybe he got an illegal overtake prompt. If the game's that stupid, I might have given him an illegal overtake prompt. Either that or he's being cautious, so then he didn't get a penalty of any description. Could be a few different things. There goes the intervals. They're going to disappear for a bit. That's because Noah's back behind the wheel of his car. Laquita. Oh dear, they checked up big time at the hairpin. Did anyone get any penalties from that? I hope not. Right. With everyone left, it means everybody will score points by the end of the race. You will score something if you finish. It's a matter of finishing. That's the tricky one. So we're going to have more than likely 5 laps of green flag running. So we'll have lap 31, 32, 33, 34 and 35. That'll be it. Should have about 2 laps with DRS, I would think. Yeah, hopefully no glitching. I would certainly hope so. But you never know with this game, honestly, JBH. The safety car hasn't... Oh, there it goes now. Right. So Noah will control the field. We will have 5 laps of green flag running. We got Noah at the front. We probably don't need the tyre graphic anymore. We'll need the penalty graphic though. Noah with 3 seconds worth of pens. He will control the field, back everybody up, let the safety car go back into the pit lane. Darlotto is in second, but with 9 seconds worth of penalties, he's definitely on the back foot. Rafa has got Guitar Hero between him and Darlotto. That's quite annoying. And he won't be able to pass him until the control line, which is the start-finish line. And there goes Noah. So we're back under green flag racing here at Montreal. We begin lap 31 of 35. Noah, he's got a bit of work to do. He needs to pull away critically from Rafa. Rafa needs to get by Darlotto's teammate, Guitar Hero, as soon as possible. Try and catch up with the top 2 and keep within 3 seconds of the leader. Renault in P4, KD in P5, then Mighty Wombat. They're all pretty close to one another in P4, 5 and 6. Through turn 6, then turn 7. Wombat's still close, but not close enough. Laquito's close as well, and here comes Lake Show. He's drawing alongside the Red Bull. Down towards turns 8 and 9. He'll go down the inside of both of them. Oh, and I think there was contact there as Laquito stays in 10th place. For some reason, it's looking at Flavius when it should be looking at Laquito. I love this game so much. And there goes Guitar Hero. He gets out of the way finally. He obeys blue flags. Rafa now, he's 1.6 seconds behind Darlotto. About 2.6 seconds behind Noah. And here comes Renner Jr. down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Renner's on the outside, but if he can keep it there, he'll have the inside line for turn 2. They make contact. They come around turn 2, and Renner gets back in front. He goes into 3rd. KD is the next car. Through turn 3, then turn 4. Around the sleeper of turn 5. They complete the first sector. Through 6 and 7. Rafa's close. He won't have DRS to help him out, but he is close. And he's using up a bit of battery. I don't think he'll go for it here. He doesn't have the momentum to. Around turn 9, a bit sideways maybe, but the car on those fresh, soft compound tyres, it just glues to the ground. You can push quite hard on these and the car will just stick. Exiting turn 10, around turn 11. Rafa needs to keep up with Renner as best he can. There's KD and Mighty Wombat. Wombat's pretty close to KD. Not close enough to try and attack. As Noah's just driven away. He set the fastest lap of the race with a 10.6. His DRS is now enabled. Around turn 2. Unfortunately for Rafa, his battle with Renner and the fact that Guitar Hero was in between him and Dal Lotto has really ruined his chances of a win here. There's still a really big chance of him finishing in second place, so long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Lake Show and Laquito pretty close together on track. Lake Show hanging on to 9th as they head on to... Was that a bit of debris I saw just floating atop the racetrack? Laquito moved. Yeah, he's missing an end plate. So Lake Show, he hit the outside wall. I thought I saw debris. I wasn't quite sure, but there you go. It was debris. Thought I saw something, and it was debris. Oh, as Shizant runs wide. Snake and Beans is through into 11th. Wombat is close. No cigar, unfortunately for him, as Lake Show gets back by. Oh my goodness! Oh dearie me! Clobbering over the curbs at the Wall of Champions chicane. Lake Show trying to attack Laquito here into turn 1, even with the damaged front wing. He has the inside line, but he can't fight. Snake and Beans tries to swoop around the long way, but he can't get it done there either. Through the chicane here, Snake and Beans will be awfully quick compared to Lake Show with that missing end plate. Round turn 5. Shizant is close as well. As there's a ghosting Refixer going through the McLaren. Lake Show running wide because of the damaged wing, and there he goes into 10th. These guys all really close to one another, but they're unable to do anything. That's the unfortunate nature of Montreal, I guess. Get these trains forming, but no one can do anything in these trains. Through the Wall of Champions chicane. The leader begins the final lap here in Montreal. Lap 35 of 35. Unfortunately for us, a lot of the battles going on at the moment, they'll be settled by the penalties, not by who crosses the line in first. This would have been quite an interesting finish as Rafa gives himself a penalty on the last lap of the race. I think he'll still finish in second place, and I think, looking at the penalties, Mighty Wombat will finish in third. We'll wait and see though. It's going to be pretty close between him and Darlotto. Exiting turn 9. This group of cars, they're all close, but they're unable to battle. That's just the nature of F1 racing at times. But Noah has got a clear path in front of him, a clear path to the checkered flag. A solid effort today from Noah. Qualified P2, started in first place. He's going to finish in first place as well. Noah wins the Canadian Grand Prix. And who finishes elsewhere on the podium? It's going to be Rafa in second. Mighty Wombat does finish in third place at the end of the race. There we are. Renner will finish in fourth. Darlotto in fifth and KD in sixth. Flavius in seventh by 0.3 of a second to Psycho. Snake and Beans in ninth. Shizant rounds out the top 10. Then Lake Show in 11th. Laquito drops to 12th. We'll be waiting on Icedev to cross the line in 15th. We have Guitar Hero in 13th. Rafixa in 14th place. And Icedev will cross the line in the final point scoring spot in 15th. There we are. Yeah. I feel you, Rafa. I feel you. But, yeah, I imagine there's going to be a fair bit of stewards' inquiries after this one, I reckon. Going to be very interesting to see what happens post-race. But for now, it's Noah claims the win. Rafa in second place. And completing the podium will be Mighty Wombat in third. Oh. So that will conclude a fairly lengthy, dramatic race here at Montreal. The game screwing over a few people screwing over themselves. At the end of the day, it's Noah who takes the checkered flag. With fastest lap as well. Rafa second, Wombat completing the podium in third, Renner in fourth, Darlato from 12th on the grid to finish second. Solid effort from him. KD in sixth, then Flavius in P7, Psycho in 8th, Snake and Beans in 9th, and Shizant rounds out the top 10. Lake Show 11th from 3rd on the grid, yikes. Not a good day in the office for him. Lake Show and Laquito in 12th, Guitar Hero in 13th, Refixer in 14th, and Ice Dev, our final finisher in 15th. Silent Banshee, JBH, Lob, Oscar Toll, and Captain Schmeg not finishing. So 4 retirements, 1 ridiculous disqualification. So, yeah, drama. A lot of drama. I imagine a few drivers will have a few words. But I think that will conclude everything, folks. Not a bad way to spend an afternoon for me. But I have to write down in my little notebook a few more bugs in the game in regards to the penalty system that were exposed today. Saw some ridiculous stuff today. But that's the way the game goes, unfortunately. There's a lot of problems in this game that we all just have to deal with. That hopefully that some of them will get patched, some of them more than likely won't, and we'll see them return in the next game with 2022. So it's just the nature of the game we play. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's time to end the stream. Tune in throughout the week, as we've still got plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports, but for the Americas series, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 4 of the championship at Silverstone Grand Prix Circuit for the British Grand Prix. Goodbye.